Good morning. Good morning. I am just having a fantastic time today. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and I am recording this in my happy place. I am camping. Some people call it glamping because I'm not in a tent, and thanks goodness I'm not because it has thunderstormed for the last 2 nights. I mean, the rain has just poured down. But I'm thinking that it's raining also at home and I need it for my garden. So it's always a blessing, even though it's muddy outside and the bugs are coming out during the day and late early evening. But let me stop going on about me and my campground and let you know that I am so happy you are here and listening to this audio. I am just excited today to share with you a very interesting and poignant story. When I pick the stories that actually, I don't pick the stories that I decide to read from the Manifestations book. I just go into meditation and I say, which one is the one that I should read this week? And this one, I mean, obviously, someone is in need of hearing this particular story. And I want you to stay with me during this story because I'm going to share with you something that you can do to find out if you are truly tuned in to manifesting at will. Yeah, that's what I said, manifesting at will. You know, there is a scripture that says, ask and it is given. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you. And most of the time it happens because we always will find things that will justify the way we think. Even if something is positive and you are on the negative side, you will find the negative. I'm going to give you an example. So I follow the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So that's Harry and Meghan. And they sent a letter to one of their charities, or one of the charities that Harry is a patron of, because they were working with a charity that Megan is the patron of. And they were delivering food during the pandemic. And they wrote a thank you letter to the street group, or the street something is the name of the charity. Anyway, so the charity put it on their Instagram page and people complained because that the Duke and Duchess were still using their logo with the crown over top. You see, when people want to find negative, they will. Mention nothing about the good work of the two charities working together and providing food for people. They just wanted to pick something apart. They found, why are they still using that logo? Why are they using the crown? They're still his and her royal highnesses. They have not been kicked out of the royal family. But when you want to find something negative in something, you will. And I have seen more examples of that here in the United States when somebody has done something good, but they didn't do it good enough. Or maybe you have felt at times that it wasn't good enough, where somebody told you, well, thank you, but that wasn't exactly what I wanted. Or, a backhanded compliment. Or you say, that'll never work, right? And it doesn't. Because deep down inside, your subconscious is allowing you to find what you're looking for. So let's start thinking about finding the good and finding what we want and asking for what we want and not dwell on the negative. So today I'm reading an entry by Gillian Campbell, and the title that she gave it was Magic Happens in Circles. And don't forget to stick around with me because, like I said, while I'm reading this, I'm going to give you an exercise that will allow you to prove to yourself. Now, some people this works within 24 hours, others it takes 72. I had another friend that it took about a week, but it happens. So let's get started and talking about magic happens in circles. Have you ever manifested something that you needed at the right time? See, like I said, Spirit always tells me which one to do. The first sentence starts out with just what I said. Have you ever manifested something you needed at the right time? Some of you will say yes, some of you will say no, some of you will say never, but you may be doubting yourself. Something shows up and you go, how did that happen? Boy, that was a coincidence. It's never a coincidence. I still remember the moment my husband walked in the door crying and holding a piece of paper and said, "It's a brain tumor." I was at the dining table with my 2-year-old son, coloring while my 2-month-old baby girl was asleep in a wrap on my chest. Scott had recently returned home from his doctor's visit where he received results from a CT scan. He had been experiencing what the doctors call sensory seizures. Scott explained this as being similar to sleeping on your arm for too long until it falls asleep and becomes tingly when you try to move it. The sensory seizures would start in one part of his body and travel all the way down to his toes. It was sometimes painful, but each time it happened, he was filled with worry and wonder. Doctors told him maybe it was a pinched nerve or maybe it was something else. There was no urgency for them to dig deeper for the cause as it wasn't affecting Scott's functioning. So he lived with those seizures for nearly 2 years. They became more frequent until finally he found a doctor who made him an appointment for a CT scan. That day changed all our days since. I don't even remember how I made it through those first few years, but I do remember thinking I needed more support in my life, support that was different from any relationship I had previously held in my life. I sought it out, and what I found was exactly what I needed. I found a woman sharing circle, which was essentially a circle of healing, love, and support. Between my postpartum depression and Scott's brain cancer diagnosis, we were putting one foot in front of the other. The fear was overwhelming. Fear of the future, fear of being a single parent, fear of my children not growing up with their dad or getting to know him, and fear of losing the love of my life. Once fear takes hold of your life, it can drag you to some extremely dark places. I'm going to stop right there. And she's right. When you are living in fear, as many people during this time of a pandemic, race riots, protest marches, peaceful protest marches, people are afraid. Lost jobs, many people are out of work and they don't know where their next meal is coming from. Fear. There is this whole worldwide fear right now. And it's very hard to try to turn your mind, turn your ideas, and turn yourself to things that are positive and that will move you in a positive direction. But we all need to, for our own body's sake, for our emotional system's sake, for our nervous system's sake, we need to start looking at the positive things. So let's look at what she did to pull herself out of dark spaces. I am grateful for my children during that time. As much as I struggled in those first few years of motherhood, I know now my children were given to me to help me see the new, the curious, and the innocent in life, even in dark times. I vaguely recall how I found the circle. I believe it started with a conversation with a colleague about feeling drained of energy. We chatted about alternate ways of finding strength, and energy healing came up. I Googled it and found someone. She was like a warm hug in everything she said. She emitted so much love, light, and acceptance for me, which I had not felt in a long time. After my first meeting with her, I could feel myself gaining the energy and confidence to move forward. She helped me to realize that I had the power to help myself. She led me to her sharing circle for women. Through this circle, I found the most beautiful and supportive strength in myself and in the circle. This was when I discovered that I had the power to create what I wanted in my life through my thoughts, actions, and perceptions. Magical things happen in circles. Throughout history, women's circles have been a fundamental part of many societies to strengthen and support sharing, healing, and connection. Jean Shinoda Bolin, a Jungian, and that's Carl Jung type person, analyst and activist, writes, when women come together and make a commitment to each other to be in a circle with a spiritual center, they are creating a vessel of healing and transformation for themselves and a vehicle for change in their world. The tools used in our circle are applicable to my life, and I continue to use them on a daily basis to guide me through ups and downs. Intentions include living heart first rather than head first, giving myself love, respect, and boundaries, and practicing self-compassion. From this place of knowing, I can give love, boundaries, and compassion to others in a much more authentic way. I continually practice respecting myself enough to consistently give myself time for meditation and quiet time to reflect. Notice she gives herself time for meditation and quiet time. So many of us continue to move forward and just keep going and going. And, like the bunny, we just keep moving forward and we never stop. And we never allow ourselves quiet time. Sometimes, for a while there with my kids and my family, my quiet time was in the shower. I would take long, hot showers, and it would help me relax. It would help me release the tension of the day. It would help me release and think happy thoughts because the shower always made me feel good. It's also good to just find a special spot, a special location, and sit and meditate and just try to clear your mind of all negative thoughts and bring into your mind all the happy things in your life. So let me continue. I am reminded that there are cycles and rhythms of life, seasons, the moon, growth, and I recognize that we also experience cycles and rhythms. Growth is a dance. There will be good days and there will be bad days. But each good day gives me the strength to look at bad days with the lens of what I have learned since the last bad day. Every bad day or moment or situation will have a lesson in it. And finally, I remember to practice gratitude. Gratitude for all that life brings us. Gratitude for the lessons. Gratitude for the struggles and gratitude for the successes. We are all human and we'll all have times of light and times of darkness in our lives. The perspective we take creates a space from which to respond to these challenges. I know that I manifested what came into my life: the love, the support, the healing, the journey, all of it. I decide, listen what she says, I decide on a daily basis what I am allowing into my life and what I am allowing to flow through me. So let's stop right there. And what are you allowing in your life? Are you making the decision in your life what you are going to allow? Are you setting your intention in the morning before you get out of the bed of what your day is going to be like? Not what you're going to accomplish, but more about the feeling. Are you going to be happy and grateful and cheerful and loving? I mean, what kind of emotions are you going to do that day? Do you set an intention to smile to each person, no matter whether they are frowning or not, whether they have said something not nice or not, right? Smile and be grateful. Sometimes people are telling you things because they are reflecting back to you what you are saying to them. So she is making the decision what she allows. She said, and remember, it's with gratitude I am on this journey in life. I am manifesting my life. I love that statement. I am manifesting my life. My thoughts, my actions, my time, my attention all contribute to where I am going and what life lesson I will learn next. I will continue to grow and learn and manifest my hopes, desires, and dreams. While our family continues to navigate the challenges that come with cancer and cancer treatment, we continue to find gratitude in everyday life and having the opportunity to heal. Knowing that you have the power, what will you manifest? And so, what will you manifest? And she's told you of what she's decided to allow in her life. So now I have an exercise for you. It's a very simple exercise. It's one that I've talked about in other podcasts, but I want you to do this. So in this particular thing that I want you to try, I want you to think of something that you would like to show up in your life in the next 48 hours. I want you to ask infinite wisdom, the universe, God, spirit, for something to occur in your life that cannot be said, it's just a coincidence. It's have something show up in the next 48 hours. So once you decide that you want to do this, I want you to write down the day and the time so that within the next 48 hours you make note that this happens. Because what you're asking Spirit is to make itself known to you in a very in your face way. I mean, in your face. There is no way that this could have happened this easily, this fast, unless there was a higher being, intelligence that had it happen. Okay? So I've told the story about doing this experiment and coming back, and within 24 hours or 48 hours, within that 48 hours, a friend of mine gave me $50 out of nowhere. And she said, well, I was just getting ready to come over, and I just had this feeling I should give you this card and put some money in it. And so I told her about my experiment, and she said, yeah, it was probably about that time that the idea came into my mind. So whatever it is, another person wound up getting a couple of checks in the mail, unexpected checks in the mail. So what will show up in your life if you just sit down and say, do it in a meditative way. Just sit down and be quiet and just ask, right? Ask that something shows up in your life that came from spirit. Very simple. Okay? This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and I just want you to know that I appreciate you. I appreciate your being here. If you're new to this audio, this channel, this podcast, please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up, give a comment. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Spreaker or any other platform, please leave a comment and give me a thumbs up or whatever the particular platform asks you to do. I will be back with you again soon. Right now I'm working on a couple videos to be put up on YouTube. So just find me on YouTube, Beverly Fells Jones, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for listening today. Please share the link to this show with your friends and family so that they can learn how to be the best that they can be. Visit my website at commandingyourlife.com and follow me on Facebook. Have any suggestions for the show? Just contact me by emailing Beverly at commandingyourlife.com. Be sure to join me on the next episode. As you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so.